Welcome to 25 and Broke, where I teach you how to stop being broke financially, socially, physically, and spiritually so that you can stop being a wuss and start being a winner. So today we're talking about how to not end up a garbage collector. What do I mean by that? Well, I think back to when I was in my teens, and my very first job was on Long Island in New York, and I had to wake up in the wintertime I had to be there at 5 a.m., and it sucked. It was brutal. It was cold out. The wind chill. And if you lived up in the Northeast, that wind chill would go right through all your clothes and everything and just freeze you to the bone. There was no way to stop it. And there I am, 5 a.m. in the morning on the back of this, ice cold steel green garbage truck driving down the neighborhood. And there I was, this skinny, scrawny, tall, I was like 6'1" at the time, I think, but I probably weighed 155 pounds, I would say. So yeah, I was tall and wiry, but, not really built for lifting heavy objects. But that's what this job required. So, day one, it's like, I have no idea what I'm in for. And, it's just like, I get on the back of this truck. The driver that I had was just this nasty, obnoxious, cruel, just verbally abusive character. And he would just yell at me and curse at me the first day like I was this slow, incapable person. And I'm like, bro, settle down. I'm just learning. This is my first day. How long you been doing this? And he's been doing it for 10, 15 years. And I remember he would just mess with me. And it got to the point, I did this job for 2 weeks, and it was 2 weeks of literal hell on earth, in my opinion. And not only was I dealing with the cold elements of the wintertime, but I have this abusive guy just spewing negativity at me, just filling my head with this abusive verbal language. And then I have the physical demands of the job as well, right? So picture this. Here I am on the back of the truck. He pulls up to a stop. I had to grab two garbage pails, one in each arm. Now, each of these garbage pails, and this is no exaggeration, weighed anywhere from 100 to 150 pounds, U.S., right? Pounds. And the reason why is people would pack their garbage pails with cement blocks, bricks, construction debris, water, liquids, and these things would just weigh a ton. And the only way to do it at the proper speed, which I was taught, was to lift one garbage pail on one shoulder, lift the second one on the other shoulder, and kind of like do this lift, push, throw over the shoulder motion and into the back of this garbage truck in one swoop. And so I'm lifting 250 pounds on average in this bold, power lift. And I was not built for this. It was brutal on my back. I'm exhausted every night and just broken. And then I got to show up the next day at 5 a.m. to take verbal abuse and negativity from this guy. So here's my point with this story. Sometimes in life, not only are we dealing with physical garbage, which I was at my job on the back of a garbage truck, but we're dealing with emotional garbage, verbal garbage, negative garbage that we're hearing through the media, through social media, through people in our life that are just toxic for us. And they just spew their negativity on us. They verbally vomit on you. Who's doing that in your life right now? Who is verbally vomiting on you? Think about that for a second. Why are you giving them permission to do this? Why did I allow this guy to do this? And I remember back in that day, I could only handle it so much. And eventually I stood up for myself, even though I needed that job and I needed that income. And it got to the point where he was in my face so much, he would do practical jokes on me, but not in a nice way or a joking way, in a kind of evil way. Like he really wanted to like do me harm, so to speak. And as I would power lift, we'd pull up to a stop, and I'd power lift 2 of these $150 pound pails onto my shoulder. And as I went to do that power lift thrust and dump them into the back of the truck, he would watch in the mirror and he would gun the gas and take off with the truck 4 feet. So that all the garbage just spilled everywhere onto the ground, onto the pavement in the neighborhood. And there I was, cleaning up all the garbage by hand now and trying to get in the back of the truck quickly. As he would come out and curse at me and say, "What the hell? What's wrong with you? You're an effing idiot, da-da-da. How could you do that?" And it was just so wrong. So I let this guy spew on me his negativity, and eventually 2 weeks into it, I lost it on him. I took him by the collar and I slammed him across, against the side of the truck. And I just threatened him. "You ever talk to me like that again, you will be part of the garbage going into the back of this truck." And, I ended up leaving that job the next day. That was it. I was done. But how many of you are being garbage collectors in your life right now? Are you doing that? Are you collecting other people's garbage, their negativity? He was a miserable individual. And I had asked him, I remember that, "Why are you doing this? Why are you treating me this way? You don't even know me." And he said, "Well, that's what I went through when I started. Someone did that to me. So it's just part of the ropes. It's initiation. It's boot camp. You got to go through it now." What twisted logic, right? What twisted logic people use to punish others because they were punished, because they were victimized. So it's up to you. You can decide, you can't decide what environment you grow up in with negativity, abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, but you can decide as a man, as a young man, or a young woman even, right, when you can end that, when you could say, "No, you no longer have permission to speak to me that way, to verbally vomit on me. That's yours. That belongs to you. Take it back. I do not want it." So I kind of wrap up with that. So the message here is garbage in, garbage out, right? So if you allow garbage to constantly be poured into you, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start spewing garbage, verbally vomiting your negative garbage onto others. So really be critical. Take a minute to think about your life right now. Think about how much garbage are you allowing in from individuals, from the media, social media, etc. And do you really want to become that person that spews garbage and is negative in life? That type of person. You don't want to be around them. Well, you have that choice. So go out there, become the boldest version of yourself. And remember, you were made for greatness. So stop being a wuss and start being a winner. I'm Joseph Warren, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace!